you know. Okay, so this is our second training that involves music and how to create music on the Citywide show and or any show. And so I was saying a couple things that I think I'm going to repeat just because maybe it will be useful for Johannes when he gets here later and others that listen to this later. So we talked about creating a playlist. Then the way we work the playlist for the Citywide show is different than what some people consider a playlist. So a lot of times the way people can make a playlist or a traditional playlist is made in a program where you put all of the songs in a row just as you would want them to transition. And so you have them in a specific order, and then you put them into the program in that specific order, and each of those songs are saved as a playlist, and they refer to a folder where all of the actual audio files reside. And so your playlist is basically telling it to pull in a certain order every file out of your folder full of your song files. So we don't traditionally do Citywide show like that because it would always play the songs in the exact same order. So if it was repeating a show, it would get repetitive. People would hear that the exact same songs in the exact same order are playing every single show. And since we're trying to be flexible for making it possible for the youth to turn in things when they can, and for that not to be a bad thing on the air as far as it just kind of repeating too much the exact same thing, what we do is we just have you guys give us the songs for us to put into a folder, and then we have a program, our scheduling program, that pulls randomly. So instead of it pulling in an exact order, the same transition, song to song, every single show, it just has a folder full of songs, and it will pull randomly. So it kind of organically creates a new show each time. If you have the same songs in there and you don't get new songs in for a long time, it does get a little repetitive because it's playing the same set of songs just in a different order. And you can also include any other audio files, and you can even tell it when you want those to show up in the order, like the way your show is set up right now. It's set up so that it plays a station ID. It plays or it actually starts with a promotional bit for the Panaderia on River Road. And then it plays a station ID, and then it plays a PSA, a public service announcement, randomly out of the folder of the whatever we have for public service announcements currently. And then it plays some music, or maybe it starts with one of your PSAs that you made. It might even be the BIPOC bit that it starts with. And then it plays a few songs, and then it plays the license PSA, and then it plays 4 more songs, and then it plays a different license PSA. And so that's the order that it is kind of set up in, more or less, which is completely flexible. If you guys figure out just how you want things to be organized, we can set it up just how you'd like it. But by doing that, I've been able to kind of play the show where the same PSAs are coming on, probably at this point too much long, but the music is changing it up. And so honestly, on the radio, lots of times people don't hear the whole show. Lots of times people are, driving from one place to another. You're on their car stereo. They listen to just some of it, and so they don't ever really fully realize that it's not got as much new content as we wish they did. So one of my hopes that I had kind of sent a text to April about and mentioned to Janeri was that the BIPOC stuff, these little short little bits about people in history that are people of indigenous or color backgrounds, they sound so fabulous in your show. Even having heard it, the one that you only have one that has been made. I can't remember who, Aubrey maybe made it. Anyway, it is fabulous, and every time I hear it, it makes me smile, and it really gives the flavor of what I think you guys are looking for in your show, to not just be, you know, random music playing. And I think that if you guys created a folder with a dozen of those, and you could work them out, you don't have to record them one at a time. You could probably get, you know, a half a dozen short little bits that it is super short. I think it can't be much more than 15 seconds. Um, it'd be good for it to be more like 30. I can't remember exactly how long it is, just to be honest, but it's pretty short. And then you got a half a dozen of those put together. You, and did a couple sessions, you would have enough of them where it would cycle through them randomly, and it would sound like there was, you know, a fair amount of different content coming through, and it would help the show not seem so repetitive. So I don't know how you feel about that. What do you think? Is anybody else there? Am I a hero? But oh,
Yes. No,
for a
you're good.
second I thought I was here all by myself. I was like, oh no.
No, no, you're good.
It's like when you're on a phone call, you know, and you realize you lost the person.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
going on for anyway.
No, but yeah, I think it's good. However, we do need to speak with the students to see what their opinion is as well.
Of
I'm pretty
course.
sure they like it, but I know one of the students isn't, so I haven't seen as much like interest in it in the BIPOC. I don't know if it's the person they're researching or what it is. Like maybe we could work something out. We'll have to figure something out with them.
Yeah, it does take a little research, I'm sure. And
Yeah.
the BIPOC Heroes idea, what was the kids to begin with? And I was
Hmm.
just like, wow, that is such a fabulous idea. And if you listen to the show, you probably um, see what I'm talking about, where the way it comes through over the air is really fabulous. So if you have anybody interested in it, that would be super cool.
Hmm.
And then of course, getting more music on the show so that it
Yeah.
isn't going through just the same stuff. I had to leave some of the, you know, there was a playlist of music before it turned into the Citywide show without like Keith involved.
Hmm.
And some of it was some of the music that was suggested early on when Alex was still involved, and we had put it into a folder. And so that is still part of what's playing, along with the stuff that the youth turned in the last time. There wasn't quite enough to fill a whole show with the
Hmm.
songs that they turned in the last time, and it seemed prudent to leave the rest of the music in. I'd be super happy and willing to, you know, go through the entire folder so that they can see exactly what the music is that's playing, as well as, of course, anything that they could submit would be amazing. And then the idea would be that I'll show you how to change the songs into MP3s from YouTube. And that's what we were going to do at this training. And then basically you just change the songs from MP3s, or excuse me, from YouTube videos to MP3s. And then we can put them, you upload them to Dropbox, and they automatically go into the folder where things will be played out of. And it won't even take any extra work besides converting them, uploading them to Dropbox. I did do a training with Janeri on that, but she probably would be appreciative to have the little video to, and you know, for the reminder too, because
Yeah.
It's a lot to get all that and remember all the steps.
Hmm.
uh, so I suppose we could do that now,
Yeah.
and I can just show you. So I will tell you that the program that we use to basically rip things from YouTube into MP3s is, I had mentioned yesterday, we didn't have the youth do it before. We just had you give us the names, and then we took the responsibility of ripping those, partially because it's not necessarily a legitimate thing to do, taking music from YouTube. Um, and so you'll have to figure out within your own organization how you feel about that. But we do have a fair amount of producers, and I know a million people on different stations do it. The one thing that I was told by one of the stations we talked to about this, which is a big station, been around for 50 years, that does that.
Hmm.
um, they told us that um it's real, and I agree, and we were already kind of on this page, but look at what you're taking, and if it is off an album, then it really is already produced music off of an album that has made it uh to be licensed, and KEPW has a music license to play any produced, not any, but virtually all produced music. We have a license we pay for yearly to make it possible for you to play that stuff. If you're taking music that is not been produced on an album, it's really simple to ask, to put in the comments, I have a radio show, can I play your song? And almost every artist wants to be heard. That's what
Hmm.
they do, that create music for. So almost always you won't have a trouble unless they don't see your comment. It's easy to get permission. And so that is what I would say about that. Using local musicians is even easier, because then it's people that are local. And we have 3 separate folders for you guys. So you have permissions through the Citywide at calclane.org. I looked up the email address. That's definitely the one. And that email address, and I believe Generi's now has permissions to put anything in any one of our 3 files. One is for voice tracks, one is for local music, and one is for non-local. And that way we can get a certain amount of local music playing on your show, was another thing that the youth had said they wanted to do in the past. So that's part of the reason why we made it like that. So I'm gonna share my screen and show you how we get music. And the one thing I have to say that is, in my opinion, a little sketchy about MP3 is that it does the little pop-up tab thing, which most free programs do now, where they pay for things by selling their commercials. And that's why you're able to use their program for free. And this particular one pops up a tab. Sometimes they come in as they say forbidden on them. I just close the tab with that. That's what I do. I traditionally, without even looking at any of them, I just close the pop-up tab, and I'll show you how I do that. So first you're going to go to YouTube, so you can decide what you want, and then you're going to go to, I got to get a new tab here, and it doesn't want to let me open things. Okay, there. And then you're going to go to this program, and there's other programs. You could probably even buy something if you have something in the budget, or if you find something you really would rather use. You could let me know. Maybe even KEPW could come up with something in the budget to make it possible for you to use a different program. But it's basically, you could Google it, MP3, YouTube to MP3 converter. And so this is the program that we use. You can see it at the top, mp3juices3.cc. It and if I'm not mistaken, it doesn't even have a www on it. It's just straight that. But if you put MP3 juices in your Google, it'll pull this up. And basically, it's pretty darn simple. You go to YouTube, you pick what you want to play. So this is just any old, I'm just picking a song, right? And then you see the URL above says where that song is located on YouTube, right? So you click on that to highlight it. You Control C or Apple C, whatever machine you're on. But you could also right click and say copy. There's so many different ways to do it, but you copy the URL and then you click on the other tab where MP3 Juices is, and in the white bar, you either right click and paste, or you Control V to paste, and you can see the YouTube video link is now there, and you hit the search button. And instantly it's taken us to another page that is one that my computer won't let it open. And it's probably just because it's represents spam that it won't let it open. And then I just X out of the new tab, which brings me back to the MP3 Juices page, right? The new tab is just whatever advertisement they're trying to sell. And then it'll say this one is already ready. Sometimes it will say so many percentage, it's working on download, converting it for download. This one says your file is ready for download. When I hit download MP3, it creates the redirect page again, and I have to get rid of it. I guess it won't let me get rid of it until I actually pick where I want to save the song. But desktop is, I would go to KEPW, I would go to Youth Radio Project. Here's Mecha, right? So let's just say this is what I would per se save this song in. And then it saves the song, and then I get rid of that new tab again. So it creates an advertisement twice every time you try to use it. It didn't used to, but this is the new world. And so that's the way we do that. And then you can minimize the window where the browser is, right? And open up your file folders. And then when I go in here, I can go to desktop, KEPW, Youth Radio Project, Metka, and there's my song. And so if I want to upload this song for play on the show, I'm going to go back to the browser. I'm going to go to Dropbox, which I already opened before you guys came on. It's just www.dropbox.com. And if you're not logged in, you won't see your icon here, right? It will say log in. You can save it on your computer so that it will stay logged in, and that's what we have here. But basically, here, let me move this guy out of the way. If I go over to click on the icon that I have, the little KPW icon, which means it's my account, you can see that I'm logged in under the email programming@kepw.org. I can log in to, if I came to Dropbox and I wasn't logged in, then it would give me this kind of a window, and I can switch. I have all this saved already, but I can switch to staff and put my password in, and then say remember me, which is why I was already logged in, and then sign in, and it will open up the staff, or in your case, it would be opening up your personal Dropbox account. And then And then basically what you have is a menu on the left, and there will be shared and there'll be all files. When you share, when we share something with you, it shows up under your shared list. If you haven't added it already, you'll see, like when a new student starts and they're just created their own Dropbox account, I just added their email. If you have students that want their own Dropbox account attached so they can upload things directly from their personal Dropboxes, then I have to add their email, whatever email they use to open up the account, into our program and share it with you, which is what I did with Janeri. So if I do that, it will start, and where these three dots are, it will have the word add next to it. And they'll have to add it. Once they've added it, they'll be able to find it under all files. It will show up as a file that they have access to. They have to add it to be able to upload something. So sometimes people, when they get started, they have trouble because they haven't added it yet, and they can't find the way to upload because it won't let you upload until you add it. So that's good to know. And then basically you can look, and under all files, we have all of our show producers. And this is what is on our end. You won't have this. You'll only have the files that are shared with you or that you create within Dropbox. But in particular, I've shared these are the three folders that I've shared that I mentioned: Latinx local music, Latinx non-local music, Latinx voice tracks. And you can see in local music, if I click that, I can, or I guess I have to click on members. I can see that the members for this is, I guess Laikis is still on there. Martha, who was somebody that I worked with Johannes a while back. Laikis, Kate, which I could remove, I suppose. It was still on there as a relic of the past. And then Janeri, and then us. Interesting. I gotta see. I could have sworn Citywide was on here. Why does I not see it? Maybe it's because we did it straight to Martha instead of Citywide. I should make sure that Citywide itself is on here. How funny. Anyway, and this non-local music, it doesn't have Martha on it. So yeah, Martha was interested in uploading local music, but she never got, things got sidetracked. I'm sure she got busy and we never were able to go forward. So anyway, those are the three folders. If I were to upload something, you can see I can select this folder, and then on the top it says I'm in the Latinx local music folder, and here is a place where I can click upload, and I can bring the file, and I would navigate to where it is: desktop, KEPW, YRP, Meja, Nibby Water Song, and I would open it, and it's now uploading. And you can see the bar going across at the bottom. It actually is telling us now it's going to take about 40 seconds and that song will be uploaded. And so that's the process. And once it's uploaded, it'll show up in this empty space. One thing that you can do also, you notice, is I can upload it through the button. I can also just drag and drop it. It says it right here at the very top of the window. There's a scroll bar, so it was at the bottom, so apparently. So if they scroll the top, normally it just opens up and you can see it saying drag and drop files onto this window to upload. So you can also do that. And you can see it popped it up there. Now it knows that I just uploaded this song, and it'll say when. And then just to be honest, I'm gonna instantly delete this because it could end up in your show, which it's not your song, it's mine. So I'm gonna get rid of it. But what is gonna happen is that our program is gonna automatically delete that after it migrates it to the broadcasting computer at KEPW. And so when you come in an hour later, if you look at your Dropbox folder, you can double check and be like, oh, the folder is empty. It definitely migrated. We should be good to go. And it's a way, you know, inevitably there will be a show moment where somebody will say, you know, call me up and say, it didn't move, it didn't move. One important thing to know is you cannot have special characters. So if you put anything, don't put semicolons, colons, backslashes, none of that in the title of your program. Just use underlines. If you use underlines to separate dates and different things like that, you should be good to go. But our program doesn't like those other characters, and it will not move your show if it has those characters in it. So that's about it when it comes to picking the music, converting it using that particular program, and uploading it. And of course, uploading anything to Dropbox is the same process. So anything that you create for an audio file that you want to play, if you upload it, the way things are set up for your show, pretty well have to, you know, email me and let me know you did that, so I can make sure that everything is set up correctly in Radio Boss to play whatever is new during the time period. And just to be honest, we play your show Thursday evening, as well as Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday afternoons, I believe. And we play because we want to play music that is Latinx style music on the air. And so, and we wanted to give your group as much airtime as possible. So we have those spots available. They wouldn't necessarily always belong to Citywide. Maybe another person will come in with a show that is Latinx based, and then we would possibly use one of those slots. But for now, we've been trying to keep a lot of space open so that that part of diversity in our programming exists when people show up to fill it. Any questions?
No, thank you.
Is that,
I think
So
in the video
far,
that's where I'm gonna have questions, to be honest.
I'm sure that when you get ready to do it, you're
Yeah.
gonna probably have questions.
Yeah.
And if you give me the heads up ahead of time, when you're gonna get ready to do it, so that I can clear my schedule so I can be available for support. I'm super
Okay.
happy to do that in any way I can support things with your guys's program. I'm really want to do that. Were you trying to say something, Sammy? I don't know.
I was just saying that as of right now, I don't think I have any questions, but I think Abril's right. It's gonna take actually doing it first to figure out if we come up with any complications.
For sure, for sure. And hopefully this video will be helpful. Maybe I should turn the video off at this point, I think. Does that sound good?
Sure, if you're not adding anything else that we have to know that's important.